One of the biggest issues of the last presidential campaign was reforming our immigration system. And yesterday, the White House announced a brand new path to U.S. residency with an expensive toll. Take a look.
We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful.
Would a Russian oligarch be eligible for a gold card?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I know some Russian oligarchs that are very nice people.
What's wrong with that?
He was trolling.
I know. I don't think he was trolling.
This is beautiful right here,
If someone's willing to spend $5 million to come to our country, you just put $5 million into our economy.
And you're gonna start a business that's gonna,
employ
Americans and
they
help
don't
the
work.
economy.
Once you get over here, you got to work and make that $5 million back.
And on top of that, say somebody comes from Ghana or something, right? He's successful, he's rich. You can sponsor people on visas now from your country and get them here to work for you legally.
Beautiful. Y'all care so much about immigration, huh? This is a beautiful way to do it. Hey, that's almost a round of applause.
I don't know, like what we're trying to do is bring the best and brightest over here. That's gonna do it.
And someone's paying $5 million to come here. Well, you just spent $5 million to live here. You gotta make that back. Yeah, you're just inviting rich people to come live in America. Rich people spend money. They put that money back into the economy, taxes, et cetera,
They could build buildings.
What's the problem with
And
that?
just like the type of culture that most, like, they probably just gonna bring positive. They're not gonna commit no crime. Like, it just doesn't seem like,
Yeah.
Well, I can't say all of it.
Remember when Elon bought America?
Yeah.
He could have saved money with this. Because this is only $5 million.
But he only would have gotten a green card, not the whole country.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Timing is everything.
There you are.
Listen, my gripe with Trump a lot of times is the way. What is happening? Listen, the way that he talks about it, it makes it sound like America's for sale to the highest bidder. I don't like that. But what I will say, this is actually basically an expansion on the existing EB-5 visa program. I have some questions because those are basically meant to incentivize the best and brightest to come to America, to create jobs here, to hire people, contribute tax revenue. But I want to know, is there national security vetting? So yes, could a terrorist organization or a Russian oligarch come in? And then just, again, don't make it sound like we're for sale. Make it sound like you want to come here because you want to be in America. But I'll say this on immigration. Donald Trump ran on two things. The economy's still looking really dicey. My eggs were like $14 the other day. But on the board...
Cooking eggs.
Yes, cooking eggs. Yeah, those eggs are even more expensive, by the way. But the border crisis, he's effectively solved in 1 month. This blew my mind. The Washington Post, there's been a 98% drop in daily border crossings in the lowest single-day total in 15 years this past week. From an all-time high of 11,000 in December of 2023 under Biden to only 200 a week ago under Trump. So he's doing that. That is what people voted for. Now, please get to the economy because everything's too damn expensive.
Well, one thing, though, that a lot of the people that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that voted for Trump, a lot of the people most critical of immigration are immigrants themselves who came here and went through the processes and are now like, I did my part, you should do yours. To speak like this about the fact that he ran on anti-immigration, and I'm going to fix that, like you said, numbers are down. But if you have enough money, you can come. So I don't think that's going to bode well for the people that voted for him, that you can just skip the line if you're wealthy. That is a problem. I also think that that's a valid point. He talks so much about criminals coming across the borders and all the problems they bring with them. People with money can be criminals too. In fact, they have more resources to be criminals. And so what comes to mind right away is you mentioned terrorists. I think it was 11 or 12 15 of the 9/11 hijackers were Saudi Arabians. Not that that is necessarily linked to the government, but there's a lot of money there. And right now you have Trump talking loosely about taking over Gaza. That puts a terrorist target on our back, and extremists, groups, jihadists, will not stop until they're not just done with land grabs, they're done with Western civilization. So they will definitely come here if this kind of thing can be bought.
And it's way easier than the way that they're planning in the past.
All I can say is thank God someone's looking out for millionaires.
because this guy has now cut $2 trillion cuts from the social net in this country. Let's talk about that for a second. Forget this gold card. It's a stupid idea, in my opinion.
Before they move on, do we agree with the gold card?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
The economy and it'll help other foreign people as well.
I wonder what they keep talking about terrorist attack. I feel like a terrorist is not going to spend $5 million knowing they're going to have to get screened and sit down and go through all that process.
Background checks.
Come on, y'all. We got to think a little bit logical.
And if you're from one of them countries, they probably going to do a little extra background check.
I know they ain't, and I don't know why the View is hollering about terrorists when how many crossed the border when
No,
they
that's what I was thinking.
I was thinking that too. But for what price? For what price? For free.
So
you will know my name soon for free. But hey, you paid me $5 million. I mean, we're
gonna keep our eyes on you. Probably.
Give me that $5. We gonna see about you, bro.
They don't know where you stay.
Yeah, okay, all that.
But $2 trillion in cuts will include Medicaid, SNAP, which means food stamps, and 9 million people will be affected by the SNAP food stamp.
It's a blueprint, though. This hasn't gone into effect yet.
No, but they want it, and they'll get it if they really push it. You know they will. $4.5 trillion in tax cuts for people who are in the 0.1% of people who earn money in this country and corporations. So these millionaires who are coming with their $5 million are going to get a nice tax cut when they come here also. And more cuts are coming, probably to Social Security and Medicare, which has not happened yet, but it will. If they continue on this streak, it will happen. So people have to know that. You know, fine, you want to come in here and bring your $5 million.
I saw Elon said if they cut the waste from the Social Security, people will get paid more from Social Security.
Exactly. No, they're trying to cut the people who are 130 dead
fraud.
and been in the grave 40 years.
And don't it triple it up? Like, don't your money double and double and double later on in the years?
I have no idea.
But don't have higher interest rate later on.
The government already put out a statement saying that anything going directly to Americans, like all those things you just named, will not be cut. They put that in black and white and sent that out.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
why
that automatically debunks everything you just said about affecting 9 million people.
Why is this a topic?
But we watched Democrats yesterday voted against no tax on tips, no tax on overtime.
They voted no.
And they said no tax on Social Security.
And then turn around and say, oh, but they're for the millionaires. But y'all had more millionaires than billionaires. And y'all ain't for the tax on overtime and tips. But y'all for the—
That's actually, that right there, that bill is purely to help the American people. Like, like that means that you worked overtime on your job to make ends meet.
Can't find it.
And they want to tax you on that? I don't think that's a complete, like, I think that's the best bill that I've heard in a minute.
I
honestly.
agree. Like that actually helps a lot of people, because people who have to work more than 40 hours a week to put food on the table, now that additional money that you make will come straight to you untaxed.
It might make more people work.
Profit.
Yeah.
That almost incentivizes
Helps
people
the
who are
economy.
struggling to work harder.
Wow.
With you and create jobs,
that, would
maybe. But all these people, what happens to them? That's what I want to know.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Joy, because if you read Project 2025, everything that is in Project 2025 is what is happening. And those things that you just listed are there. And so that is the goal. That is the ultimate blueprint. That is the ultimate plan. And it's been pretty effective so far with all these executive orders. But in terms of the immigration thing, I think this is not that different from what happens in Europe. You know, you can have this sort of golden visa through real estate in places like Portugal and Spain and Greece.
A lot of the
Caribbean. So this would be the most expensive golden visa. But I think what's fascinating to me is that, yes, he ran on immigration, and he ran really on the southern border, because we know we also border Canada, and that's actually the largest border. But they're not really going into Canada and looking for those Canadian people that are kind of jumping back and forth.
This is a misnomer. It's not Canadians that come across the northern border. The northern border crisis. No, it's.
I don't think Canada has like the top 5 cities for the highest, most violent crimes in the entire world.
It's literal cartel members over there. But let Alyssa.
I want to see. Alyssa was about to interrupt. I want to hear what she said.
To me is that yes, he ran on immigration, and he ran really on the southern border, because we know we also border Canada, and that's actually the largest border. But they're not really going into Canada and looking for those Canadian people that are kind of jumping back and forth.
This is a misnomer. It's not Canadians that come across the northern border. The northern border crisis. No, it's people coming from other parts of the world, India, Mexico. But there's not a bunch of Canadians flocking. There's probably more Americans going to Canada right now.
That's not true because I spoke to Governor Whitmer about it. But
that was a misunderstanding.
Can I just
talk at the same time?
Can I just can I just finish what I was saying
so
that I
about
don't
6,000 Canadians
so that I don't lose my thought? The point is, he was all about immigration from the southern border, and those immigrants or those migrants look a certain way. So it seems to me this was never really just about immigration.
Governor
It was
Wheeler
about
said
a
differently.
certain
That was
type
a
of immigrant.
misunderstanding.
And so
They're not
now
going for that shit.
we have this million these.
Can I just clarify though?
Can I finish talking?
Yes.
Hell no.
She's trying to
So
make it racist.
it's okay
She
for
wants to make
Russian
everything
oligarchs
racist.
to come over. It's okay for people with money to come over.
Right.
But it's not okay to provide a path to citizenship for people that have been here, like the DACA recipients, for other people that
That's
look
right.
a different way.
So
That's
just to
the point.
clarify, because there is a border crisis on the northern border, and it doesn't get nearly as much attention as the southern. The numbers aren't as high. It is not Canadians crossing from Canada into the United States.
Who is it?
It is Mexico and India are the two largest places that people are coming because they're seeing that it's actually easier than going through the cartels and going through a more secure southern border. So if they have the resources, that's what the northern immigration
Maybe we
is.
can have-
You know
Has
what I
nothing to do with
want? Is
Canadians.
I want somebody to make a decision about immigration.
And actually, more
I want
suspects
somebody
on the
to make
terror
a
watch list.
decision
They are.
about immigration. Because if you're saying if you got enough money, you can come. But if you don't have the money, we don't want to take care of it.
I don't understand what's bad about that.
Because-
you don't want more people that are wealthy to spend money in America to
they
come
will.
put money in our economy.
They wealthy, and they're not going to be affected by this. Regular Americans are being affected by these random people coming into this country taking their jobs. They're not going to be.
It's not
affected
even the
by
fact
it.
that it's not even the fact. It's not even the fact that they're taking jobs. It's the fact that we're paying billions of tax dollars to support their lives and their lifestyle, and they're not assimilating to our culture. They're committing crimes.
Fentanyl.
There's
Fentanyl
drugs.
at the highest.
They're not. They're unvetted. Like there's so many. It's so many things
bro,
you can list. Like it's not the fact that they're not white. It's not the fact that they're coming from Mexico and they look a certain way. And even if it was, like all those other factors outweigh that. So I mean, like you really have to look at it from a logical perspective. Like I want people to come to America and assimilate and become American, come into and come contribute to America, not just come here for a free meal ticket.
But if you look up the top 5 most dangerous cities in the world, I think like they're all in Mexico, every single one. So I mean, like let's just stop hurting people's feelings. It's dangerous in Mexico. Mexicans will tell you that.
They were shooting at.
Wasn't
the
there a
United
stat?
States. They were shooting at the United States on the border.
They actually look up the highest murder rates in the world. I'm pretty sure like 3 of the top 5 or all the top 5. I'm not sure, but I know they got a bunch over there. Even the top 10 are all in Mexico, every single one. So it's like, bruh, that's bad.
Didn't we see a stat that said Mexico, the cartel in Mexico employs as many people as Walmart?
Yes, proportionally, like Americans, the percent of Americans that work for Walmart, the same percentage of people in Mexico work for the cartel.
That's insane.
So,
and those people are just coming and were just free to walk into our country.
That's the stat
and we
we
pay
saw.
for them to live here.
They
You
don't
kidding
care.
me? We've got people
It's not
coming in
safe.
unvetted to where they're taking over apartments and recruiting other children to join their gangs, and they want to sit here and fight for that because they look a certain way.
And
They came from somewhere.
They claim that
Hell
Republicans are for the rich, but you guys are trying to basically keep the rich propped up.
Man, they never bring up the fact that
Like-
Hillary Clinton said you shouldn't come to America if you don't speak English.
Because if you're going to let these people come in, then you're going to hurt the average American, correct? So if you cared about the average American, you wouldn't want them to come in. I know people right now that are saying in Texas, because we have a lot, we're on the southern border. They're saying that they can't get jobs. Every time they go to a hospital trying to get a job, it's Hispanic people in there. It ain't nothing wrong with that if they're legal, but I mean, that's a problem. We know that's a problem. So it's not, whatever, man. Yeah, she's trying to make it a race thing. It's not a race thing. But I agree with the gold card. I'm pretty sure anybody with a logical mind would agree.
And the person is vetted.
I wonder if he
I'm
gonna-
pretty sure a lot of people are with, are they vetted or they're not a criminal or they, okay, cool. Come through the process.
I also like the fact that they shut down that bullshit she was trying to promote. She shut that down. She said,
cut her off, too.
Nah.
They cut her off.
She was like, no, you're not finna say that. That's a lie. She was like, well, let me finish, please. Yeah,
Go ahead,
whatever.
Taj.
I can't wait. This getting
Last
canceled.
statement.
I wonder if Trump gonna actually push that bill if you get your college degree,
Yeah.
and you get your visa.
All right,
If he
that,
does
a great
that
question.
too, then how could you argue? He is for immigration
that
legally.
has to happen.
That's I feel like he
And
really needs
it's
to
a
sign
great
it.
stat because they've been saying that he hasn't been doing too good deporting. It's a great stat that nobody has came across
they're not
the
crossing,
border.
yeah.
They ain't talking about that.
But he's not deported because they won't let him.
But let us know what y'all think about these guys.